Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to share with you a clip from a recent live event. Myself and Gathering the Magic are going to be hanging out and we're discussing prices are down in Splinterlands. Things look quite grim. The runway is limited. But for all those reasons, despite all those reasons, we walk in a great degree of confidence and we're both interested in acquiring more. Are you? Where's your head at with respect to this? Card prices are down a lot. Is that scaring you? Are you selling? Are you buying? We're getting into it. So if it sounds interesting, stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. Also check out Gathering the Magic's channel. And finally, if you want to be present at these live events, check out my YouTube page, find the members only section, and consider subscribing at whatever tier you want to get involved at. You'll be allowed to come to these weekly live events. Have an amazing day. God bless. My card prices, Gathering, are... I've been tracking them. I'm at 26,200 for my total value. And even as of September 27th, so 2 weeks ago, it was $9,000 more. I got to write this. October 13. That's a 25% drop in just from in literally 2 weeks. That's a big decline, but I don't, the thing I've always said with the channel, I believe in this game for what it is, for the entertainment value, for the, the well thought out economy, for the collectability of the tokens. I just like this and I believe in it. I think the team are good. And I know, you can raise critiques and questions and concerns, but this doesn't faze me at all. It just makes me feel like would be an amazing time to take a bite. But the problem is it's not that I don't want to, it's not that I don't believe. Man, Kolsker bought a tract. I want to check the prices here in a second. I'd love to go deeper in that respect, but I just don't have any money on the sideline. This season has been a crazy one. I moved my work. I get paid less with the church than I did with my old employer. And then we did a massive renovation for my little girl. So she could have a wheelchair friendly bathroom. So, just things are tight and crypto is in the tank. So that makes it's not like I can even move things around very much. Gathering, what do you think about these price declines? Have you noticed similar things in your portfolio? And maybe even you were talking about vouchers. I don't know if you did a video yesterday or today. You were saying about vouchers and how you're making some moves there.
Yeah. Well, for my $10 account, just a couple days ago, I did a video on some pickups that I did for that account with the prices being that low. And I had noticed the prices had dropped since the last time I had purchased some cards for that account, just maybe 2 or 3 weeks earlier. I think one of the cards that I was looking at was Unicorn Mustang. And I believe it was around $2, maybe slightly above $2. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just save up for that card and grab it. And then when I got it a couple days ago, I think it was like maybe $1.50.
Wow.
So I had noticed about a 33% drop in prices. But yeah, I sold my Immortalis on that account. I think I got around $12 or $13, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do some shopping. I'm going to pick up some cards for Wild, bronze level, where I just need 1 or 2 copies. And I was able to pick up several cards. I got a beta summoner to level 2, which is all I need for bronze. Zintar, I think it is, the one that gives -1 melee.
Yep.
Use that a lot. Like I said, picked up Unicorn Mustang, picked up a couple other just cheap summoners like Pyre. I like using Pyre in bronze for the 3 mana cost.
Yep.
So it was, at least for me, it was a great time to do some shopping and pick up some cheap beta and untamed cards.
I like what you're describing, because you're talking about, what I'm hearing is that it's not like you're aping in with some massive move. You're bringing in fresh thousands of dollars or doing something crazy. You're just like, okay, there's some interesting things here, especially with things shifting and some cards. And you're talking about some of those like what's the -1 melee? That's a beta card. So that's a wild card, right? That summoner that you just mentioned, Zintar.
Yep.
So,
and the nice thing about beta cards, I don't know if people realize this or not, but like for summoners and for rares, you only need 3 copies to get to level 2. It's not like Chaos Legion where you need 5 summoners to get it to level 2. You only need 3. So, when those summoners are only $1 or slightly under $1, for $2 or $3, you can get a max bronze summoner for Wild. So
yeah, that's really interesting to think about, because there have been changes in the quantities of BCX needed over the years, depending on what card, what edition, what rarity, and that's more of like an advanced play. Like not everybody who comes to this game is going to recognize that right away. Like even a common, there's one common summoner and you need 500 copies of him, I think, but then later they changed commons to max out at 400, and alphas had like, if we look at alphas quickly, alpha regular foils, you need 86 copies to max out these summoners. These are the exact same summoners as the betas, but you'll note that the beta, same card at Malrek Inferno, is 115, which later became normal for the rares. And so sometimes what'll happen, and usually, you know, bots and, you know, people watching these marketplaces know there's enough wise investors that recognize what they're doing. But sometimes you're going to see a deal where it's like, you just point out, like Zintarth needs 3 and I would need 5 if I wanted. See right here, Zintar Mortalis, you need 3 BCX for that second level. And like you said earlier, if we go to like Untamed and we look at a rare,
Untamed, you need 5.
Yeah, right there, 5. So 2 more BCX. And you know, the price point, 68 cents for this guy. What was the Zintar? The Zintar's, you could bid buy for 72. So it's $1.50 if you were just going to buy off the market. So you're going double the price, but again, you could, if you're patient with these cards, especially the betas, because there's like a small audience of people who sell these, and so that's why supply drives the price higher, because there's not that many supply of them in the first place, nor there that many of the sellers. But it's interesting because like people, especially now, are in this obvious sell-off pattern, which means that bid buys probably are getting filled in ways and at price points that you'd be surprised by. If you're sitting on DC, if you've got like, you know, you just sold your Immortalis, you get 10, 15 bucks. Like I forget what you said you got, but whatever it is, that's a few dollars. And then you're talking about like an account, a $10 account, and you're just making a move within it. It's not like you brought in thousands and thousands of fresh dollars. It's just like looking at the market and almost monster flipping more than, you know, the idea of like just throwing a bunch of new money at it. Hey.
Yeah. Like I said, I bought my $10 account. I believe it was July of 2022 is when I started it. And that's all the money I put into it. I didn't put any other outside capital. I didn't send it any cards from any other accounts. And I just wanted to see, okay, how much can I build this account? And I'm looking at it right now on Peak Monsters. I think anybody can do this. So if you just want to type in the word Gedfer, that's the name of the account.
Sure.
It's saying the price that I have in cards right now. Let me make sure it's owned.
Say the name one more time.
Gedfer, Gedphir. So my card prices have gone down as well. I think I was around 60, and now it says I'm at 46. But still, $46 of cards for a $10 investment is not bad at all. And that doesn't include my SPS. I think I have over 1,000 SPS now on that account.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm getting good earnings from bronze battles with 1,000 SPS. I think that's pretty much all you need at that level.
This is a fun conversation. So you bought this account for $10, and it's now worth $47 US. And this is like an unprecedented fall of card prices in Splinterlands, like literally 25% in the last 2 weeks. And this isn't even reflecting your soulbound cards that will have a price but currently don't, right?
Yeah. Is there a way to look at Soulbound on
Yeah,
Peak
you
Monsters?
can go, if you give me the name again, I can look it up on Splinter Cards and see how far along you are. Gedfer, is that right?
Gedphir.
Yeah, we go rewards. So you've got 11% of the commons of regular foil, 2% of the gold foil commons, 13% rare regs, and 2 on the epics, and 1% on the legendary. So you've collected some of each, which is meaningful, man. And I've found last time in the last TNA Guild Brawl, I fought in the gold foil bronze and gold foil bronze one. And I just started my main account in modern last season, and I'm now diamond 1 or 2. And I bring both of them up because I have distinguished myself and found a lot of extra victories recently because of these soulbound reward cards that I've accumulated in the last however long they've been selling. So these matter. When you are playing at bronze, these absolutely matter. They make a huge difference. And and so they definitely
Splinter Forge as well.
Say that one, yeah, Splinter Forge as well. You're still doing that too, hey?
Yep, every day.
And what about Gladius? Gladius are super interesting too, man. Same thing, right? With the summoners, Gladius get to come into the regular phrase and start to change your returns. These are deeply valuable, both the rewards and the Gladius, but your price isn't built in, and yet your price is 5x'd in like the deepest part of so far, the deepest part of what Splinterlands bear market has been. Hey, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't count. I think I have 1,050 somewhere in that SPS, which, you know, SPS I still believe long term is going to be many multiples over a penny.
Yeah,
I don't see it happening anytime in the near future, but eventually it will.
Yeah,
so there's that as well.
That's the thing. And with SPS or with tokens like that if you believe in them, in my mind, you need to be willing to be early. Because when things like that, when moves happen with something like that, it happens so quickly. Like the daily volume is only $92,000 in Splinterlands, according to Livecoin Watch. And that is so small that if like things could get carried away so quickly, and the market cap 1.3 million can go into 100 million in such a radical fashion. Because one thing, I've said this before about market cap, people wonder like, oh, how could it go 100x? Or I mean, is that 100x? Yeah, 100x. The thing is, I think it could do more, because I actually don't think market cap is like deeply meaningful, because what you look at when you see market cap is actually like the recent sales of tokens. It's not, is it even 10% of the tokens, right? Like we just saw with vouchers, and maybe we could talk more about that too. Vouchers went up 25% or something like that, or 40% or something in that one day after the announcement. But it was on $2,000 worth of daily volume. And so my point is, something like SPS, it's bigger than vouchers, a lot bigger. But you'd be surprised how little inflow of money need to happen to make it go exponential. And so that's why I really feel, especially if you believe in a token like SPS, which I do, you do, guys in the chat probably do, then it's like you want to be early on that, because it won't go 1.3 cents, 2 cents, 3, 4, next month 5, 6. It's not going to do like this steady uphill battle. It's going to just go, you know, it's going to chop in this radical way between probably like 3 cents and 1 cent, and then one day it'll be 20 cents. And then the next day it might be 50 cents. And then maybe the day after that, it's 20 cents again. It could be that radical and that fast. And it could be even more radical. And it literally can happen in seconds. Like I watched Bitcoin Cash years ago do that. Like I was leverage trading Bitcoin Cash when it went to like its all-time high. And I saw like $1,000 become like 6 and then become 0 in like minutes, because of leverage and because of how radically and quickly these markets move.
Yeah, that's why I started a strategy just a couple months ago, and this is not financial advice. I don't know how this is going to work out. Just kind of running some numbers through my head, and you know, when do you take profit? When do you sell? How long do you hold? Is it better to just hodl and not do anything and just wait it out? I did a strategy, I called it the power of 10%, where, and I use it for SPS. Every time the SPS price drops 10%, I'll buy 10% of what my current bag is and add it to the bag. Every time SPS goes up 10%, I'll sell 5%. Cool. So that way I'm taking a little bit of profit. I'm kind of safeguarding myself if it does a massive spike. You know, I haven't like sold it all before that massive spike. You know, I'm kind of selling a little bit as it goes up. And then as the price goes down a little bit, I'll add some more to my bag. So I've done it for about a month and a half or so, I think is when I started it. I started with 22,000 SPS. Let me look real quick. I can tell you the numbers. So I started with 22,000 SPS when SPS was 2 cents. Every time it dropped 10%, I bought about another $40 worth. So now currently I'm at about 34,000 SPS with another $160 investment.
Nice.
So we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm just going to track it and, you know, update it as things change and let everyone know how the strategy is going.
I mean, it seems very reasonable. In fact, it seems, you know, measured. It's like this, it's not heavy in, it's not heavy out. It's just you believe it's like an expression of believing in the token, and you're just going to see where it goes. And it's like, that's a very DCA, slow and steady sort of approach, I would say.
And the cool thing about it too is I know how much I'm going to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way the numbers work out, every time it drops 10%, I've been spending about $40 each time, and it's always going to be $40.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always going to be the same amount, but as it goes lower, I'm getting more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. So I'm growing my bag faster and faster as it goes lower and lower. So right now my next target is if it hits 1.18 cents, I'm going to add about another 3,400 SPS. If it goes to 1.44 cents, I'm going to sell about 1,700 SPS, and then I'll probably convert that to DEC, because I think DEC has a little bit more upside to get to peg, and I'll kind of use that as my stable coin.
I love that, man. I love it. I think it's very wise. It's not wise in the sense that you've like when I say wise, it might sound like I'm like, this is an amazing piece of investment advice. Really what I say it's wise because it's first of all, it's simple. Second of all, it's prudent. And third of all, it's based on and this is maybe the most important element, but it's based on your long-term confidence in this thing, this game, this token. If you didn't have that, it's just like a shot in the dark. But I heard somebody talking recently. It was Tails and Bebe and Stever. And they were kind of kicking around sort of, concern around, because Matt said pretty openly, like if they sell a couple million packs, they'll have a year runway. And and Tails was kind of implying that means that they, for the next 6 months, they're in like danger zone, and they could just, I don't want to go too far and put words in his mouth, because it wasn't like he was like, everything's falling, everything's gonna fall apart, but he was definitely raising this like yellow flag of like, I'm not going hard into rebellion, because there's just no way I would put fresh money into a thing where it's like 6 months, we might not know how we're going to sustain ourselves, which I get, but I'm bringing it back to your thought and your approach. Cause it's, on the one hand, Tails is saying like, I wouldn't bring thousands of dollars fresh, but on the other hand, do you or do you not stand on the foundation of this game and this team and the vision for it are solid? Because if you do, the question isn't just, hey, like, can I mortgage my house and buy more assets? That's silliness. That's like, okay, you're right, Tails. We shouldn't be like imprudent, and we shouldn't go hard, especially in a time of such uncertainty, unless you are that sort of risk taker and you're willing to, take the L if it goes the wrong way. But the other side that I didn't hear a lot of conversation around from Steve or from Bebe or even Tails is this, like your approach, which is like, okay, why can't I just do this measured, alternative? Like I do think the game is going to be here. I do think this is an interesting sort of precarious moment where prices are growing lower because people are a little bit nervous, but I walk in a degree of confidence, and I'm talking about $30-40, which is not going to break the banks.